Hello children, today we learn about some more problems. Okay, yesterday I gave some homework. Okay, that is 44 by 3 squares, lower and upper bounds you have to find out. Okay, anyway I want to explain once again. But 44 by 3 square take as it easily. Don't go for other calculation. 44 by 3 square is also equal to 44 by 9. No madam, we will do like this. No. So 3 squares lower and upper bounds are different and 9 lower and upper bounds are different. 9 lies in the range 8.5 and 9.5. This lower bound is 8.5, upper bound is 9.5. But coming to C, lower bound of 3 and upper bound of 3, you see 3 lies in the range 2.5 and 3.5. So lower bound of 3 into 3 is 2.5 into 2.5, that is 6.25. Upper bound of 3 into 3 is 3.5 into 3.5, that is 12.25. So the lower bound of 3 into 3 is 6.25, but the lower bound of 9 is 8.5. So lot of change is there. See, because 8.5 is different from 6.25. Because of that, don't do the calculation 44 by 9. Afterwards we will take the lower and upper bounds, ma'am. No. So don't do this. Okay. So upper bound of 3 into 3 is 12.25, but upper bound of 9 is 9.5. Because of that I said don't do this calculation. Directly as it is, take the problem and find out the lower and upper bounds. Okay. Now 44 lies in the range. You should subtract 0.5 from 44. Means 43.5 less than or equal to 44, less than 44.5, less than 44.5. Okay, now we will find out the lower bound of the calculation and also upper bound of the calculation. This is the fraction. Because of that, you want to find out the lower bound of a fraction, means lower bound of the numerator by upper bound of the denominator you should take, because when denominator increases, the value of that fraction will be decreased. Because of that, lower bound of the numerator by upper bound of the denominator you should take to find out the lower bound of the fraction, whole calculation. To find out the upper bound of the calculation, you should do upper bound of the numerator by lower bound of the denominator. Okay, that I am doing. You see, now lower bound of the calculation, lower bound of the calculation. What is the calculation? 44 by 3 square. What is that? That is lower bound of 44. That is 43.5 by upper bound of 3 square. Upper bound of 3 square is this 12.25. 12.25. After doing the calculation, we will get 3.551. Okay, we round off to 2 decimals. 3.55. Lower bound of the calculation 44 by 3 square is this. Okay. Now upper bound. Now upper bound of the calculation 44 by 3 square equal to upper bound of 44. You should take 44.5 by lower bound of 3 square, that is 6.25. This is 6.25. So after doing this calculation, we will get 7.12. 7.12 something we will get, and we will take the first 2 decimals. Okay. So lower bound of the calculation is this, upper bound of the calculation is this. This is the way of doing the problem. Okay, this is the way of doing the problem. One more model I want to explain. You see, one more model I will take and I will explain. See, that is the problem is 578 by another model. 578 divided by 17 into 22. 17 into 22. Okay, these are all whole numbers. So because of that, your D is 1, because 578 becomes 579 by adding 1. In the denominator also the same way. Okay, so your D is 1, your H is 0.5. Okay, so your D is 1, your H, that is D by 2, is half means 0.5. Means 0.5 you are subtracting, 0.5 you are adding. That's all. So 578 lies between what? 578 lies in the range. Which range? So 577.5 less than or equal to 578 less than 578.5. Okay. Coming to 17. So this is the range. 17 lies in the range 16.5 less than or equal to 17 less than 17.5. Similarly, 22 lies in the range 21.5 less than or equal to 22 less than 22.5. This is the range, Nana. Range of the numbers 578, 17 and 22. Now, no need to go for the product of 17 into 22 and everything. Directly also we can do. Okay. Directly how, madam? Just I am showing. See. Lower bound of the calculation 578 by 17 into 22 means, lower bound means what, Nana? Lower bound of the fraction means lower bound of numerator by upper bound of denominator. That's all. No, because of directly I am doing. Lower bound of the numerator is what? This one. 577.5 divided by upper bound of denominator. Upper bound of denominators are these two. 17.5 into 22.5. Directly you can do. Okay. Now see the calculation. Okay. Then you will get something. Some value you will get. Okay. So that you see. Next, upper bound. Upper bound of 578 by 17 into 22. How much that is? Upper bound of 578 means that upper bound you will take, because this is the fraction. So 578.5 by 17 into 22. This is lower bound you should take here. So that is 16.5 into 21.5. So you will get the result. Now see the calculation and tell me the answer. We will see the calculation. So let me get the calculation. Okay. That is 577.5 divided by 16.5 into 577.5 divided by 17.5 into 22.5. Just a minute. 17.5 into 22.5. Just I am taking the calculation. Wait a minute. 577.5 divided by it's almost 1.46 bar, means you can take 1.47 decimal, so you can round off. Okay. For the next calculation, 16.5 into 21.5. So now 578.5 divided by So 1.63. This is 1.63. Okay, this is upper bound. This is the way of doing the problem. This is the way of doing the problem. Okay. Next. This is one model. Okay. So one more model I am taking. See, that is the problem is next problem. 1000 divided by 4 into 3 plus 8. This is the question. 4 into 3 plus 8. This is the whole number, this is the whole number, this is whole number, this is whole number. Everything is whole numbers. Because of that, what is your D? Your D is 1. Then your H is equal to D by 2. That is equal to half. That is equal to 0.5. Means, so for each and every number, to get a lower bound, you should subtract 0.5. To get an upper bound, you add 0.5 to the given number. That's all. Okay. Now 1000 lies in the range. So 999.5 less than or equal to 1000 less than 1000.5. Okay. So next see, 4 lies. So don't do the calculation. 3 plus 8 is 11, madam. 4 into 11 is 44. Don't do the calculation. Your lower and upper bounds will be changed because of that. 4 lies in the range 3.5 less than or equal to 4 less than 4.5. Okay. Now 3 lies in the range 2.5 less than or equal to 3 less than 3.5. Next 8 lies. Every numbers lower and upper bounds you should take. 7.5 less than or equal to 8 less than 8.5. Okay. So next what will happen, you see. Next, so now what I am doing, you see. Now lower bound of the denominator. First I am finding lower bound of the denominator, means 4 into 3 plus 8. Okay, this is all the lower bounds you should take. So 4 lower bound is 3.5 into means into 3 lower bound 2.5 plus means plus 8 lower bound 7.5. So 3.5, if you add these two, you will get 10. So this is 35. This is 35. Now upper bound of denominator. Upper bound of again 4 into 3 plus 8 denominator value. So upper bounds now you should take 4.5 into 3.5 plus 8.5. Upper bounds now I am taking. So 4.5 into, this is what, 12. If you add these two, you will get 12. So 4.5 into 12, the value is here 54. The value is 54. Now you should take the lower bound of the calculation and upper bound of the calculation. Now lower bound of LOC means lower bound of 1000 by 4 into 3 plus 8 equal to, so lower bound of the fraction means lower bound of this, that is how much, 999.5 divided by upper bound of the denominator, that is 54. That is 54. So what is the answer? 18.5. 18.5. Now upper bound of the calculation. Upper bound of 1000 by 4 into 3 plus 8 is, upper bound of 1000 is 1000.5 divided by lower bound of the denominator, that is 35. That is how much? 35. So what is the value? That is 28.6. This is lower bound and this is upper bound of the calculation. This calculation. Okay. So I think you understood the problem. Okay. These are all what? Only the whole numbers we took. Okay. If any decimal number is given in the problem, what to do? Any method is same. Any decimal number is given, then what to do? The method is same. So okay, one more bit I am taking, that is, you should find out the lower and upper bounds of these decimals. 2.1 plus 4.7. Okay, so this is a decimal number, this is also a decimal number. 2.1 will become, what is the next number of 2.1? 2.2. 2.1 next is 2.2. Next is 2.3. This is the way. 2.1 next is not 3. 2.2 next is not 3. Okay. After 2.1 you will get 2.2. After 2.2 you will get 2.3. This is the way. Okay. Because of that, what is your D to get the next decimal? Your D is what now? 0.1. Your D by 2 is 0.1 by 2. That is 0.05 is your H. Means half of the accuracy is 0.05, because this is a decimal number, one decimal number. Okay. 4.7 next is 4.8. 4.8 next is 4.9, like that. Now you see, this 2.1 lies in the range. So you should subtract 0.05 from 2.1. From 2.1 means 2.05 less than or equal to 2.1 less than 2.15. How, madam? Is I'll show the subtraction. 2.1 and 0.05 you should subtract. Nothing is there means 0. 10 minus 5, 5. Here nothing is 0. Here 1. Here 2. Okay, 2.05. So adding means 2.1 and 0.05. You are adding. Here you are subtracting, here you are adding. Nothing is a 0, 5, 1 and 2. Okay, like this. In the same way, 4.7 lies in the range 4.65 less than or equal to 4.7 less than 4.75. Less than 4.75. Okay. Now, this is the lower bound, this is the upper bound. Here also lower bound, upper bound. Now, lower bound of the calculation. Lower bound of the calculation. Lower bound of the calculation means lower bound of 2.1 plus 4.7 is how much? So lower bounds you should add 2.05 plus 4.65. Okay, so add 2.05 and 4.65. 10, 7, 6. 6.7. Upper bound of 2.1 plus 4.7. Upper bounds you should add 2.15 plus 4.75. For this 2.15 I am adding 4.75. 10, 9, 6. 6.9 is the upper bound. 6.90 means 6.9. Okay. So when decimals are given, so you should see what is your D. According to that, you do the problem. Okay. So method is same. Okay. One more bit I am taking. Next I am taking subtraction. 17.6 minus 4.2. Lower and upper bounds you should find out for this calculation. So here also your D is 0.1 and your H is 0.05. Okay, like this. So 17.6 lies in the range. Which range? Okay. Lies in the range. Okay, you should subtract 17.6, 0.05. Nothing is there, 0. 5, 17. Okay, means 17.55 less than or equal to 7.16 less than 17.65. Okay, this is the range. So 4.2 lies in the range. 4.2 lies in the range. Which range? 4.15 less than or equal to 4.2 less than 4.25. So this is lower bound, this is upper bound. Here also lower bound, upper bound. Now find out the lower bound of the calculation. Now lower bound of 17.6 minus 4.2 is, just lower bounds you should take. 17.55 minus 4.15. Subtract. For 17.55 is there 4.15 subtraction. 0, 4, 13. This is 13.4. 13.4. Now, upper bound of 17.6 minus 4.2. Upper bounds you should take. 17.65 minus 4.25. So 0, 4, 13. 13. So this is 13.4. 17.65. 5 minus 5, 0. 6 minus 2, 4. 17 minus 4 is 30. So here the lower and upper bounds are one and the same. How it is? Lower and upper bounds are one and the same. We should check. Yeah. Lower bound is 17.55. 17.6. 17.65. Yeah. 4.15. 4.2 lies, and 4.2 and 4.25. So this minus this, lower bound. Lower bound of 17. Okay. So okay. Tomorrow we'll continue.